It's Titans week. Records go out the window when you're playing a division rival.
We're looking forward for this matchup, man, not only because it's Tennessee, divisional game.
Jeff Lageman takes us into the film room to break down two impressive touchdowns from Thursday Night Football. Plus, we're in the community.
Even our parents were excited. They're like, go Jaguars!
And it's the dog days of the season with wide receiver DJ Chark Jr.
Say what's up.
All that and much more ahead on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank, turn potential into progress. Geico, saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save. And Cadillac. Visit your local greater area Jacksonville Cadillac dealer.
Just apologize to the team and staff and for being a distraction. It was stupid. And so I explained everything that happened and owned it, and just stupid. Should not have myself in that kind of position.
It's been a tumultuous week for the head coach Urban Meyer, and the challenge now is to refocus on football and the Tennessee Titans. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm JP Shadrick. Controversy has surrounded the Jaguars all week after a couple of videos made the rounds on social media. With all that and an 0-4 record, it's hard to believe the Jaguars are only 2 games back from leading the AFC South. A win on Sunday could do a world of good on and off the field for the Jags. The toughest part this week, though, is focusing on football.
We're a team, and we're sticking together. Just because something happens that puts a little stress on it, that doesn't mean you just give up and you go your separate ways. Like, you figure it out and work through it. So that's what we're doing, and I feel good about our team. Nothing's changed. We're still really tight, so we're just looking forward to playing the Titans this weekend and getting back on track.
Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence is not going to let off-field distractions get in the way of his team's preparation for an AFC South rival. The Jaguars need all hands on deck to beat a tough Titans team.
We're locked in. As soon as we step in the building, man, it's football. So all the distractions that everybody's dealing with at home, whatever, as soon as you step into the facility, man, it's all about football. It's all about the team, and it's all about winning, preparation. So as soon as you step in this building, our main focus is the Titans.
The Jaguars will rely on team captains like Lawrence and Josh Allen to set the tone for this week. Coach Meyer met with his team earlier in the week to clear the air and apologize.
I'd say of our leadership committee, I had at least 8 to 10 phone calls even where they called me, and they were over the top supportive and said, we got you, man. We move forward. The common thing was, Coach, we also did stupid things. And I'm really impressed with our guys.
Now it's all about football and time to focus on the Titans. Welcome into the huddle. JP Shadrick with Brian Sexton and John Oehser. Busy week around TIAA Bank Field for a lot of the wrong reasons, though. Urban Meyer issuing apologies, Shad Khan issuing statements, and Brian, an early week at least of distractions.
Without a doubt. It's been the weirdest week that I can recall in 27 years with the Jaguars, JP. And it leads me to the conclusion that this is the week that the face of the franchise goes from being the head coach to the quarterback. The Jaguars had hoped to elongate that and just let the quarterback focus on learning how to play on Sundays. But if this locker room is going to rally for a game on Sunday, it's going to have to come from within. You can't rely on the coach to be able to motivate it. He's got enough to deal with. It just seems like this is the perfect point, John, for Lawrence to take over and become the guy.
Yeah, I think that's a role that he's going to get better at through the years. I mean, he's going to be the face of the franchise. He already does that very naturally to me. People gravitate to him, and he's comfortable in that role. If this is indeed the week, if players are looking to him, he's the right guy to do it. As we said since he got drafted, he was put on this earth, or whatever it was, from the time he was 6 or 7 years old, to be a quarterback in the NFL. That not only includes on the field, it includes all these leadership intangibles off the field. He's ready.
Well, guys, they better shake off the distraction, whatever's left of that, quickly. There are 13 games to go. The division rival Titans are coming in. A little later, we'll break down the game a little bit more. But it felt like the last 4 weeks, as the weeks have gone along, the Jaguars have improved. Starting on offense, the running game has gotten in there, and Lawrence has run the ball a little bit more along with James Robinson. They've mixed in some guys. They're missing some key contributors now, but it feels like the offense is just really close to taking that next step, John.
It is, and I thought that was maybe the thing that was a shame about all the other stuff this week, is that people lost focus on the fact that this team was getting better, and it improved from each week. I've written it a million times. They were down 27 after halftime in week 1. They didn't trail until after the game ended, essentially, in week 4 against a pretty good Cincinnati team. This offense showed significant ability to respond to adversity the other night in Cincinnati. I think it's ready to have a big game. My only question is, where do they go at receiver without DJ Chark? I wonder what the passing game looks like going forward.
Yeah, they're going to have to create it by committee, and obviously Jamal Agnew's a guy who's getting his name tossed about this week. Laquan Treadwell, the former number 1 pick who had such a good preseason, is probably a guy. Taven Austin, they're going to have to get it done in a number of different ways. JP, you said the running game, and that's the issue that I have. This is where their success comes from. The ability to keep teams from teeing off on Trevor Lawrence, especially with the passing game needing time now to figure out how these new pieces are going to integrate into it. The running game with Carlos Hyde backing up James Robinson is what it's going to take to beat the Titans on Sunday. If they can run the ball, and they've gotten progressively better at that week to week, they can win.
Balanced offense, that's exactly what they've wanted throughout, and it felt a lot more balanced the last couple of weeks at least. Now it's time for Finding Solutions, presented by UF Health, delivering compassionate care and world-class outcomes. Visit ufhealthjacks.org. The defense needs to finish games. They've blown 2-score leads the last 2 weeks, guys. How do you begin to teach that? How do you go through that, Brian, finishing a football game on defense?
Well, it wasn't just Tyson Campbell, but obviously as that young man gets better, gets more experience underneath his belt, he has all the physical characteristics and the skills that a coaching staff would want from him. So he'll get better, and the Jaguars will get closer to finishing. It also came from underneath the safeties and linebackers who struggled to contain C.J. Uzoma last week, who scored those 2 second-half touchdowns. I think they can stop the run. They've got to square up coverage. I'm not sure where that comes from. Whether it's a safety, whether it's a more veteran corner stepping in there, I can't give you that answer. But that's what they've got to get better at if they're going to finish out games, because otherwise you're just going to see some of these quarterbacks who are coming up on the schedule now. You look too far ahead, you see Russell Wilson, you see Josh Allen. It's going to get really challenging for the secondary. They've got to get better in a hurry.
Well, tighter coverage is a start, but the way you close out games in the National Football League, if you have a lead, is get the quarterback on the ground when he's trying to throw. And they did it once against Cincinnati. It got taken away because of a penalty. Pass rush started pretty good the first 2 games, has not gotten home enough in the last 2 weeks, really didn't get home against Cincinnati. If you want to close games, hit the quarterback.
Got to get home on the quarterback. This week the quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. They do have a running game in Tennessee as well. Derrick Henry's back there, and coming up in just a little bit, we'll break down that offense and what the Jaguars have to do in week number 5. A little later in the huddle. Coming up on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend, we're in the film room where Jeff Lageman shows you how the Jags offense is coming together. That's next.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Geico. Saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save.
We're going to bounce back, I have no doubt. I know what we're made of, just seeing how we've handled the first 3 weeks. I know nothing's going to change, but just got to finish. It's collectively, it's everybody. It's not one side of the ball or anything like that. It's just all of us finishing. And we're getting there. I'm not even going to say, it's going to take time, whatever. We're right there.
Some highlight-worthy throws and no turnovers. Trevor Lawrence had himself a night in primetime, but it wasn't enough to get the win. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm JP Shadrick. A franchise quarterback is the biggest investment an NFL team can make. The Jaguars have their guy with Trevor Lawrence, and that should make everyone feel better about where the offense is heading. Let's head into the Cadillac film room, where Jeff Lageman breaks down the Jaguars offense from Thursday Night Football.
James cuts back to the middle of the field and scores. A 6-yard touchdown run by James Robinson in Jacksonville. Strikes first.
Welcome into the football lab, and James Robinson scored the first touchdown for him in the ball game against the Bengals on an outstanding run that had a great block. Wide receivers always catch balls, but sometimes they have to catch a block. On the touchdown run, the play was designed to go to the right side. On the snap of the ball, Laviska Shenault actually comes across the formation to get a little kick out here because the play looks like it's designed to go right here. The linebackers are fast flowing. James Robinson has such great vision, but sometimes he even needs a little bit of help. On the snap, he starts in this direction, but he sees that, look at the number of defenders that are here, especially with even the backside linebacker flowing over here. It's congested. He sees a crease back here. But that crease has one guy coming and coming quick. That's the safety. But Marvin Jones Jr. gets a great block. He comes with speed and then takes this safety, meets him right here, drives him to this side here, and then there goes James Robinson for the touchdown. A thing of beauty, a wide receiver catching a block. On the snap of the ball, you can see the track that James Robinson is on. He's going to the right side, and there's Laviska kicking out anything that could potentially come to the right side. But nothing's there, it's congested. When he cuts back to the left side, there comes the flash, number 11, Marvin Jones Jr., taking on the safety. And he delivers a blow to the safety. Bam! Knocks him completely out of the hole, springs James Robinson for the touchdown. A wide receiver catching a block. Now let's take a look at Trevor Lawrence's first career rushing touchdown. And a great play design and a one-on-one situation, which Trevor said he was looking forward to. The play design. James Robinson comes across the formation. That's the fake handoff at this point. That draws the linebackers over to that side. What you're trying to do is to get somebody one-on-one. On the front side where the play eventually ends up, the tight end loops out, blocks the safety. Sam Hubbard, the defensive end, is the one-on-one, the unblocked defender. Once Trevor fakes the handoff, he comes parallel to the line of scrimmage. And at some point, once Sam Hubbard starts to square up and move outside, he plants his foot right here and then cuts back to the inside. And the speed allows him to get him because the safety now is too late. First career rushing touchdown for Trevor Lawrence. TL for the TD. Let's jump into the film and take a look at it. Here it is with a great look from behind. There's the fake handoff to James Robinson, and there goes Trevor Lawrence paralleling the line of scrimmage. Did you see when Sam Hubbard starts to commit? That's where Trevor plants his foot, and you can see Sam Hubbard cannot come back the other direction. And then the safety, too late. Trevor Lawrence gets into the end zone before he's a factor. Trevor Lawrence's first career rushing touchdown.
There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars weekend.
It was exciting. It was epic. Even our parents were excited. They're like, go Jaguars!
We're walking to school next.
You know, I thought we played better on offense as far as just cleaned up a bunch of things, turnovers. I thought I did a good job taking care of the ball. I didn't put the ball in harm's way. I thought I used my legs good. I thought the guys up front killed it, honestly. Run game was really good, especially in the first half. Pass protection was awesome. Did a great job. I mean, we're getting better every week. Obviously, that's heartbreaking, that loss, but we're getting better.
The Jaguars rushed for 139 yards against the Bengals, and Trevor Lawrence was only sacked one time. Credit the offensive line for doing their part in Cincinnati. We're back on TIAA Bank Jaguars weekend. Unfortunately, right guard A.J. Cann has been placed on injured reserve with a knee injury. This means second-year offensive lineman Ben Barch will get the start against the Titans. And even with all that going on, Barch is still making time to do good in the community. Let's check out this week's Baptist Health feature. The Jaguars and Alert Today Florida combined for a walk to school day with the Jaguars. Kindergartners through second graders at Biscayne Elementary participated in the walk to encourage pedestrian and bicycle safety.
It has created so much energy and so much excitement from the parents and the kids and staff. And also what's most important is that they are partnering with us to increase awareness about safety.
Once in class, Jaguars offensive lineman Ben Bartz joined on a Zoom call to share his story, read a safety comic book, and provide tips for pedestrian safety.
Kids, the biggest thing is being alert, being aware. Also, make sure you always wear a properly fitted bicycle helmet. Those are very important things, kids, if you're riding a bike, that way that you're safe and you keep all the cars and other people around you safe.
The moral of the day, safety doesn't happen by accident. For Jaguars Weekend, I'm JP Shadrick. Nothing better after a long day than coming home to your dog. Wide receiver DJ Chark Jr. always talks about his two dogs, Bam Bam and Dundee. Let's check in with the Chark family in this Dogs of Duval, presented by Pet Paradise.
This is Bam Bam Chark, the big brother, smaller size. Say what's up. And this is Dundee Chark, little brother, bigger size, more active. He's the sweetest dog. He's very sweet, but he has so much energy, and sometimes I just don't have the energy to keep up with him. I feel like Dundee is capable of learning a lot of tricks. I just have to work on that. My wife teach him some things, but I haven't really taught him any tricks. Sit. They don't know what happened in your day, so even if you're having a bad day, great day, they're gonna maul you. Anybody that comes to the house is free fall, and just the energy. I love the fact that they both have their energy and it's very genuine, so that helps a lot. We go all out by giving them birthday parties. We try to make sure, like, taking them to Pet Paradise where they get the best treatment, catering to all their needs, going outside. Usually the more outside time that they get, the better they are. Pet Paradise is really great, it's very convenient, and they treat all the dogs like an extension of their families. We go all out for them.
Still to come, Brian Sexton and John Oehser are back with the keys to beating the Titans.
Oh! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! In our element.
Hey, right now, boy.
I don't know about y'all, I love this.
Let's go. They can't stop us.
Give it to him again. Give it to him again. Give it to him again. Oh, they call a foul! There you go! Way to take charge, bro.
I took that ball, sorry. I launched that ball, sorry. I launched that.
Gotta get there a little quicker. Let's go. Hey, great job reading them. Don't force them. Some really good decisions right there, right?
Hey, we've only had 3 plays, so we better get it going. We better get it going. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Sounds from the sidelines in Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. And welcome back to the Huddle. JP Shadrick with Brian Sexton and John Oehser. Let's move ahead to week number 5, guys, and priority number 1, stop Derrick Henry. John, it's easier said than done.
Well, I'll go back to my theory from earlier this week. I think you cheat. I think you build a brick wall, or you get maybe 5 extra guys on defense. This guy's been a thorn in the side, but I think, as Brian's going to point out, I'll let him go with this, not as good in September as he has been later in the season against the Jaguars. Maybe that's the hope.
Well, he's a downhill runner for sure. And if you get to him early in the first game of the series, he's averaged less than 4 yards per carry. That bodes well. Here's the other thing. He's run, as John has mentioned, better this September than at any point in his career. So stopping him might come down, JP, to a 3rd down somewhere near midfield in the 4th quarter when the game is close. That might be the way that you go, we stopped Derrick Henry.
We'll see what receivers are available for Tennessee that Ryan Tannehill can throw to. Quickly here, a win keeps the Jaguars, yes, in the division race. They would be 1-4 and only 1 back of a first-place 2-3 team, Brian. Can you even imagine that?
That's all I've been able to do for a long time. I mean, here are 19 consecutive losses. At this point, I wouldn't even think about what these guys are capable of. Just find a way to get one win, JP, to change the narrative to a different direction.
One win is all it takes, John.
Yeah, find a way to get it, and then you're one game back, and then see how the season goes after that. I mean, it's the NFL. Your preseason ranking doesn't matter. It's your end of the season record, and if you're in first place.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans coming up Sunday, 1 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. Thank you for watching TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.